When do you need money most? When you are injured and you don't have a job and you have no money, which is when you need the help, you can't get it. And that's really what started the business idea.
Can you just start by telling me a little bit about Easy Legal Finance? For those who don't know, what's the company all about?
Of course, Easy Legal Finance is a specialty lending firm that specializes in helping people that have been hurt in an accident and are waiting for a settlement and need support in the interim.
Simple enough. What would you say is sort of the founding mission of the company? What inspired you to go down this road?
What our mission is and kind of what inspired us are almost one and the same. I'd almost call it synonymous. That we started this business because we saw that the legal process takes a considerable amount of time to reconcile. And people that have been injured, generally speaking, don't have any money and aren't working because they're injured. Yet the judicial process takes a long time, and there is no funds for them to put food on the table, to pay rent, to take the bus to go to the doctor, to begin that rehabilitation. So we started this business dedicated to helping people that have been hurt in an injury who need support and are waiting for their lawyer to fight for a fair settlement. That's our mission.
I still want to ask about that because I imagine the average Canadian hasn't been in that position. They might have an impression that if you're injured and someone's at fault and there's a settlement that's been awarded to you, then your financial struggles are over, that, you're on easy street financially, even if you're dealing with other repercussions of that incident. What might the average Canadian not know about this process and the financial strain that exists for the recipients of those settlements, even when they're successful?
So, Jared, that's a great question. Most of us watch TV and we're familiar with the dramatization of being injured and going to court and getting a massive settlement. The reality of the matter is it's actually not the way it works. There is a long process of filling out paperwork, justifying the injury, and going through the negotiations to validate the injury that you have is in fact something that your insurance provider will pay for, even if somebody's at fault. And that process can take up to 3 to 5 years. Now imagine being injured, waiting 3 to 5 years, can't go to work, yet you still have all your bills, including your rent.
It seems like it's a pretty big problem. How did you sort of identify it as an area of need, and how did you approach coming up with a solution for those who are in that situation?
So we started this business back in 2013 because we heard of this need. And by way of background, many of my family members and friends are lawyers. And so we'd sit around the table, all of us talking about work. And what I found interesting is this dilemma. And this dilemma was not unique to Toronto or Vancouver or Calgary, but universal across the country. And what I learned through this process is the banks aren't going to lend anybody money without assets or without a job. And when do you need money most? When you are injured and you don't have a job and you have no money, which is when you need the help, you can't get it. And that's really what started the business idea, is filling this void.
And the solution that you found, you said you started the company in 2013. This is just around the time that fintech is becoming a hot new buzzword and people are discovering the possibilities of financial solutions that are available using technology. What was the aha moment in connecting the problem that you had identified with the available technology at the time?
The situation that our clients find themselves in was really a scenario where the fintech marketplace, whether it was 2013 or today, hadn't been able to figure out how to address, which is what is that additional source of data points that is atypical or non-traditional that they can get access to find a way to bridge that gap to help the average consumer. And that's a struggle because the asset class is relatively new and unheard of. And still to this day is a struggle for many people to look at this business.
There's so many sort of different skills and areas of expertise that you need to bring into a fintech company in the legal industry: finance, law, technology. What was your background prior to Easy Legal Finance, and how did it sort of set you up for the journey that you're on now?
So before I started the company, I actually spent my entire professional career in the asset management business and in finance. And so I understood the financial aspect of it, but what I had to learn from a fintech perspective was all the business technology related aspects. Because of the nature of the specialization of what we dealt with, there were no lending products to be able to help us start the business. There was no access to data to try and evaluate the nature of the claim in order to help the plaintiff that was injured. And there was no tool that we were able to utilize to create a beacon score or a scoring mechanism. And so what we had to do is we actually had to build up our own equivalent of our fintech model here by building up the technology to be able to do the intake, adjudicate the claims with atypical data that's not readily available, figure out how to score it, how to price it, and then how to be able to manage it, which was an exciting, interesting task for us. All of those tasks at the same time where clients would come to us looking for help.